This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing, and is sponsored by Upton Clan Builders, and I'm delighted to be joined today with Mark Ahondjo. Mark, how are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for joining me today. Let's go back to the beginning a little bit first of all. Take me back to your first day in a boxing gym. Do you remember it, and do you remember why you went that day?
It was all because of my uncle, really. It's not, it wasn't something I was going to pursue myself. It was my brother had always had talks of me maybe doing boxing. Friends had talks of me doing boxing. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'll give it a go. And a friend of my uncle's told my uncle, so then my uncle come down and brought me to the gym. This is around just before the COVID. Just before the COVID, that must have happened.
So,
Then
it's-
then after that, it kind of just became a thing. You catch the bug, and then before you know it, the rest is history.
Absolutely. So still fairly new to you, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're talking really what, just almost 6 years, really, when COVID hit. So, like I say, it's not an awful long time that you've been in the sport. You say that a lot of people said that you was going to go into boxing, you should do boxing, you should do this. Why did they all say that? Was there boxing in the family? Was it just because you're a big guy?
Being a big guy, and then you know how growing up in certain environments with certain friends, you get into a cool physical altercation, should I say, and I have the upside of those. So they kind of just stem from there. But I never thought of it. I never thought of it as something I would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go take it professional, or I'm gonna pursue a career in that. Because when I was younger, I wanted to be a footballer, as everybody does in England. I wanted to be a footballer, and my dad was a big fan of the Muhammad Ali's, George Foreman's, stuff like that. But no one really knows this. But he even tried to put me into a boxing gym before to like keep me grounded and keep me down sort of thing. But I never really wanted to do it. Like I enjoyed the training and all the bits and aspects of it, but I wanted to be a footballer when I was younger. So eventually I kind of just drifted off.
So you mentioned your dad was a fan of, your Arleys, your Frasers, your Foremans. Was boxing on in the household growing up? Do you remember watching boxing as a kid or at all, or is it just something that's coming later in life?
It's never something I watched as a kid, but like I was a big fan of Mayweather and stuff like that. I did enjoy watching him and seeing how we come up and seeing something come from something to nothing, nothing to something really. So I did enjoy it, but it was never was a thing around the house. I would see your Muhammad Ali posters and stuff like that just here and there, but wasn't something I ever thought of. Oh yeah, let me go have a crack at it.
So obviously you built up a bit of a reputation on the streets so that you could handle yourself, Mark, and then we're here now, obviously a professional. Talk to me about the discipline aspects, and did boxing change you in any way?
Yeah, it's changed me a lot. It definitely has because growing up, you know how it goes. Like you might be out with your friends, you could be at parties, you could be doing stuff like that. But boxing just teaches you like to be more grateful of things in life. Like you would see certain things you wouldn't be grateful for, like just let's just say like just waking up, a routine, a schedule, being able to eat, and all the small stuff that you never thought of, like to you, just everyday sort of things. It teaches you to be very grateful of those and then remain disciplined as well because it being in your 20s, you're going to get invited to parties. Friends are going to go out. Friends are going to want to do this. People are going to want to go on lads' holidays and stuff like that. And then you can get kind of indulged into certain things that you shouldn't be getting indulged into. But then always reminding yourself, okay, I've got training in the morning. I've got training in the evening. I've got sparring coming up. Or I've got to prepare for a fight. It always just takes you back to what you need to do instead of just being out and fooling around and just staying focused.
Absolutely, certainly, sacrifices come with the sport. I mentioned you're now a professional. You're 1-0. You've got a fight coming up. Talk to me about preparation. You mentioned there about fight prep and making sacrifices to prepare for a fight. Talk to me through the night before a fight. I know you've only experienced it the once as a pro, but how do you prepare for a fight the night before, physically, mentally, and emotionally?
Yeah. I try not to beat myself up about it too much or try to overthink it because in the amateurs, it kind of can just come on the spur of the moment sort of thing. But when I've had big fights in the amateurs or something of the sort where you know it's coming and it's quite of a big competition or a big fight, you kind of like start overthinking it. I need to get this right. I need to do this and I need to do that. So now I just kind of just go through the day as normal, to be honest, and just stay focused, understand what I need to do, watch a little bit of boxing here and there. Don't just overthink and just ram my brain with a lot and just try kind of take the gym atmosphere into it sort of thing and try not to do too much because I feel like when you're trying to do too much and push, you're gonna force it. I want it to be as natural as it possibly can be. And then yeah, make sure I eat right, sleep early, don't be up too late, and just keep myself away from people. Like I just won't go around meeting any friends or seeing too many people unless you got tickets to do last minute and stuff like that. But I just try to keep myself to myself.
Absolutely. Do you feel pressure heading into a fight?
I would say I put pressure on myself. I've never felt pressure, but I put pressure on myself because I have high expectations for myself. And in my head, if I don't look like Mayweather, I ain't doing good. If I don't look like so and so, I ain't doing good. Like I could do everything perfect. One thing could just go wrong, and I'll be like, oh yeah, nah, that's not good. I need to go back to the drawing board and do this and do that. But pressure to me is like a fight is not pressure. Like don't get me wrong, it's very life threatening and things can happen. But when you're doing it, it's your job. You got to do what you got to do. And I know there's people out there in life that have a lot more pressure than me, so I don't really try to put that onto myself too much.
You mentioned Floyd a couple of times there. Do you try to base your style on anybody, whether it be Floyd or anybody else at all?
Not really, not really. I'd say I would look at guys like right now. I'd say my current favorite boxers to watch: David Benavidez. There's a Cuban middleweight called Hernandez, and you got your Terence Crawfords, your Shakur Stevensons, and stuff like that. I do like to watch that. So even though Benavidez is a lot of pressure come forward, and Terence Crawford is a lot more IQ and a lot more skillful work. So I try to take bits and bobs from different people because I'm not gonna sit and tell you, oh, look at me, I box like Terence Crawford, and you're gonna watch it, it's something completely different. So I just try to take bits of different people and just try add it to my game or learn, and then try mesh it with the two and what my trainer's telling me and what I can bring it myself really.
Absolutely. Boxing can provide great highs. Obviously, you're very early into your pro career, but I suppose one of the highs for you recently was sparring Tyson Fury. Talk to me about the experience of that.
Yeah, it was a very great experience. I can't lie. It opened more for my eyes because you know when you see these guys on TV and you're just training all the time. You're in the gym and you feel like you're just hitting a dead end. All you do is go to your job, and you go to the gym, and you go to your job, and you go to the gym. And don't get me wrong, you got to stay disciplined and stay consistent because that's how you're going to get forward in this game. But I didn't think it was going to happen till I was actually there. Because in my head, words are great. Till you're actually there in the ring, words is great. And then being in the ring with him, seeing how he moves, seeing how he trains, just seeing how locked in the focus he is. Because you see on the camera, of course, the big personality, laughing and joking. But when it comes to his training, he isn't messing about one bit. And then it just made me think to myself, okay, this is the way he's training. When I get back to the gym, I need to take it to the whole nother level.
Was there anything that maybe surprised you? You mentioned that you don't really get what you see on TV with him, and you might get that with fights. Obviously, you fight a different way to way you train and spar and things like that. Is there anything that surprised you about Tyson Fury?
In terms of personality wise, I would say yes and no because you do see more of the flamboyant stuff on the cameras, and they don't really. I wouldn't say that from what I've seen, I don't really get to see much of behind the scenes sort of stuff. But proper down to earth, proper humble, we're very willing to help you and give you game and give you pointers instead of just trying to ego you. Like you could be in different gyms and be with different boxers and boxers. A lot of guys have got ego. You want to be the best, and they want to be the best, but so they kind of just want to keep themselves there, and you keep yourselves here while he wants to give you pointers and help you out and help you try and improve and whatnot. And then in terms of being in the ring with him, because he's so big, I wouldn't like you wouldn't. I do see on TV him being agile and stuff like that, but me, I feel like I'm a fairly quick individual myself. Then seeing how quick he moves, the way he steps, his angle, his position, it's like he's never out of position. And then to take that just for he's that big, he's never out of position. He's always there. He's there, then he's not there. Then there's no. I need to be able to do that.
Was that a moment where you sort of felt, wow, okay, this guy's a different level?
I'd say probably quite fast into it, to be honest. Probably quite fast into it, to be honest, because I was throwing some shots and then well, I must have threw a left hook. And then the way it's landed, he's telling me on the way it's landing that I'm not throwing it right. And I was just saying, like, like what's he talking in my head? I'm there, like, how can you tell me how I'm not throwing the punch right? You not even see my hand, like you felt it, but he knows exactly how the punch is landing on him, the way if my knuckles are turned over, what position my wrist is in, just by feeling the shot. And I just thought he's very on point. He's very on point. That just made me realize, yeah, this is a complete different level. Because yeah, I feel like I'm thinking about certain things, and I feel like I'm calculating on what I'm doing, or I try to be anyway. But that just made me see, even on offense, defense, no matter what position, his brain is always switched on.
Did you, obviously, sparring is learning as well. For you, did you find yourself making adjustments mid-round? What did you take from the sparring that you will use for your future fights and training?
Yeah, definitely. I was making adjustments as I was going on and whatnot, and it was just more so just like going there just to work. It was more so just going there to work, just getting experience. Nothing sort of like going too crazy or anything, or you're gonna hear these fancy sparring stories and whatnot. It's more so just going there to work and really just getting experience. And what I took from that was his footwork. Because as a heavyweight, we all can bang. Now you got guys who got that one touch like Wilder, where it doesn't matter, just that one touch you're gonna go. But as heavyweights, a couple heavyweight shots or just the one, pardon me, as they say, it's over. So his feet, the way he can just in and out, and his position and his angles, it just allows him to get in, get out, and attack you from all different angles, even from angles you can't even cover yourself at. And I just said, if I'm able to implement that in my game, it's going to take me a lot further.
Absolutely. What did the work with Tyson do for you, for your belief in your self-confidence?
Uh, it made me feel. It made me feel like okay, I'm a lot better than what I think I am. I'm a realist, like in terms of where I'm at in boxing. I'm not stupid. I know I ain't been in the sport long. Like, yeah, I got into it before COVID, but as you know, when you was an amateur and it was really lockdown, we wasn't allowed to train at all. So I'm gonna go back to doing my job, doing things because you gotta make a living, you gotta earn. Boxing ain't paying me, so I just thought, you know what, leave it. So for about 2 years, two and a bit, I'm just working, 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 working. I wasn't really thinking of getting to this point. I just thought, just take each day as it comes, really. So the belief it gave me is like going from your job and you're just doing certain things like now that you're here but if the best, if not one of the best in the world, if I'm able to be in there and even make changes and adapt with him or take some of the shots and even get some shots off at him, then the level I'm currently at now, I feel like okay, take that, I should be able to implement it and breeze through it in a sense because I have high expectations for myself. I'm not gonna sit and say, oh yeah, it was okay. I feel okay. I feel not. The fact that it's a blessing to even be in that position. So now, if I can get myself in that position, that means I can take it even further. So if I stay consistent and do what I'm doing, it's only gonna go up. So it just made me feel like, okay, just stay disciplined, stay consistent. I feel like I'm gonna shock a lot of people.
How recent was that Tyson sparring?
Friday.
Right, okay, so very, very recently.
Yeah.
So obviously he's teased a comeback. He's looking at, he's mentioned a date in April. Do you think Tyson Fury can come back in and come straight back in at the top? And he's not been away from the game really that long. So we know he's a world champion. Do you feel he could walk straight back into, say, an Usyk fight, or obviously the fight everyone wants in Britain is the AJ fight?
That definitely so. I feel like if you watch the two fights, those are Usyk's hardest fights. And from an interview I've seen, he said that. And even from the first fight where he had Usyk hurt, even me watching, I thought he was gonna take him out. So the fact he's the only one that's able to do that, and from what I've seen in person, still in great shape. The movement, the hand speed, the IQ, like the way he just does everything. It doesn't look like he's lost a step to me anyway. And then with him and AJ, I just feel like for the country, it has to happen. It just has to happen. Even if those two, what people like to say, oh, they're on a decline or the whatever people like to say, regardless, it just has to happen. I feel like anyway, for the country, for the little rivalry they've had, and them two being the pinnacle of British boxing doesn't get any bigger than those two. So I feel like he definitely could come in and still perform at a high level and even win, I would say. It's possible.
You mentioned obviously people feel like the two of them, AJ and Fury, are potentially on the decline. AJ was seen to take a few losses, a few bad losses as well, stoppages. Obviously, Dubois was, a really big and punishing loss really for AJ. But with Tyson, because it's just the two losses to Usyk, do you feel that he is on a decline, or is it just a case of Usyk is that good?
I wouldn't say a decline. Even with the AJ stuff, I wouldn't say a decline. People need to also understand it's easy to comment on these guys. The same thing I even said to my brother. Like my brother would make like, oh yeah, he would say something about say if AJ lost the fight, he'd be like, oh, see, he's not even that good at it anyway. But I would say, would you say that to him? And would you, I said, would you be in the ring saying that to him? You wouldn't. It's heavyweight boxing and things can happen. And I'm sure you've watched fights where you felt like the guy you was rooting for was going to win, and all of a sudden things just change. It's heavyweight boxing. And those two are in good shape. They're year-round athletes. So for me, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say a decline. And Usyk, as we know, like the levels. Like it's Usyk. It's not no middle European or British level. This is Usyk. This is the best of the best, top of the top. And to hang in with their both and AJ and Fury have both give Usyk good work and a good account of themselves when fighting him. So I wouldn't even say it's a decline. You're looking at somebody who's an Olympian, who's had hundreds of amateur fights, dominated the cruiserweight division, come to the heavyweight division and dominate the best guys in the heavyweight division and double lap them. So I wouldn't say that, but and I still even think there's a possibility of those two winning. Even when I was watching those fights, I feel like there's still a possibility of those two winning.
No, certainly were competitive fights. Back round to yourself, Mark, just finally. Obviously, you've got a fight coming up on the 22nd. Currently, at time of recording, no opponent just yet for yourself. But I want to look ahead for you in terms of your career. You said earlier you're a very realistic person. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time in boxing?
5 years, 5 years. I see myself at 5 time. I'd like to say um, the trajectory and my mindset, and I'm a realist. I believe I can make it to. I can get there, world level. I can get there, world level, and that's what I'm striving for to be the best. I can't be in this game to not be the best or to not try and be the best. I know this opportunity that I've got and being able to bring freedom to my family and look after my family and parents don't have to work again. I can do everything and anything for my family, for my brother, my mother, my father, my sisters. I have to strive to be the best. There's just no way possible. I'm not taking second best. I have to be. And God forbid, if I don't get where I feel like I'm gonna be in 5 years' time, at least I can say I put everything in. But in 5 years' time, to answer your question, to not to ramble on too long, I'd say I want to be world champion. I want to be the best.
So, but with that mindset, Mark, do you look at guys like sort of at the younger age in the heavyweight division, like a Moses Talma, and say, this is the guy that I'll be looking at in maybe 5 years' time. This is the guy that I'll be having my world title fights against.
Definitely so, definitely so. Yes and no, but I don't look too far ahead because, as you know, Moses is a phenomenal talent. You've been seeing what he's done to Dylan White and all sorts. Like, he's a phenomenal talent. If not, he's a fight, or he could fight for a world title right now. So I'd be delusional to look at those guys so far ahead. So I just take each day as it comes, focus on me. So now I know when I do get to that level, any comers I'm ready for.
Absolutely, Mark. Well, thank you very much for your time and all the best of luck for the fight on the 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time as well.
No worries at all. Anytime.